We have 3 X's, I can bring you one. Okay. I actually will.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. No, that's quite all right. I mean, the turn out's really great. And my own staff checks up on these. And pretty diligent.
What the?
Tuesdays, survey will be coming.
Thank you. We can say if they're more.
What questions are you later on? I went along yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I have to make some. And the board's like, you have to wait for three bids.
Yeah. And
Well, it's more fun to do it now. I have to advertise.
Good morning. Oh, hey.
these four tables with the, wonderful. This is the transition for, I'm gonna forget the acronym, transition team for worship and music. QM. And we wanted to offer one more forum in our process towards transitioning away from various leadership and towards whatever comes next. The goal of this forum is to offer all of us, our congregation, an opportunity to affirm and also reform, as in affirmation or dream anew, our collective vision for the new music director position at our Saviors.
Hmm.
So we're looking at, what things do we want to maintain and continue, in our worship and music here, and what things might we want to, reform or change as we look to the future?
So we're gonna start with waking up ourselves, because if you wake up your body, then your mind wakes up too. So let's everybody scooch back in your chair, scooch back away from the table. All right, and scooch to the very front of your seat. All right, make your spine nice and tall. And when you inhale, we're gonna arch and put our heads back. And when we exhale, we're gonna into an arch. And slide your hands over your knees. And inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale. Okay, now let's inhale our arms up. And down. And up. And this time, put your hands up there and grab your one hand with your other into one side. Exhale. Inhale to the middle. Other side. I heard a little crackle there. And down. Find the way. Find the way. Right. No.
Yeah. And now we're gonna do a little bit of communal singing, and Brett will lead us in song.
So if you want to stand up, like we could just sing marching like a bell. And then I like to sing this one standing up. We don't have to be all up too high. We are all singing in the pocket of God. We are marching in the pocket of God. We are all singing in the pocket of God. We are marching in the pocket of God. We are marching in the we are singing in the fire. 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 We are singing, we are singing, we are singing in the heart of God. We are singing, we are singing, we are singing in the heart of God. We are breathing in the fire of God. We are breathing in the light of God. We are breathing in the fire of God. We are breathing in the light of God. We are breathing, we are breathing, we are breathing in the light of God. We are breathing, we are breathing, we are breathing in the light of God.
Then.
Here, four of us, we can put back. Just need to put some, or we can consolidate. Should we just leave it at 3 tables? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, here's the plan. Half of our tables have 9 themes that kind of came out of a forum that we did in May. So these are some of the themes that our team has been thinking about as we look ahead. And we'd love to hear among the themes that you're seeing, what do we affirm? What do we want to keep? And then where might there be spaces for reformation? The other two tables have kind of a basic pared down job description of this music and worship role. We'll take a look at the job description and ask those same questions. Which pieces of the job description might we want to affirm and which ones might we want to reform or look ahead in a new kind of way? So we'll switch tables in about 10 minutes and we'll have a moment for some song and movement in between. Let's begin.
Yeah,
We are discussing fees.
I mean,
I'm just gonna get it.
This one, you're thinking about. Yeah, lots and lots of notes. Let's consolidate that. I want to say so like categorize.
Yeah.
And this is.
So the job description,
Emerged from.
which parts we like, want to keep, which parts would we
The question
reform
is,
or change or
what do you especially want to look
consider?
about?
do we have like a definition of what her job description is?
Well, yeah, this is a basic,
Um,
yeah, so this is as much as we're gonna get to look at, so there's kind of 4 spots here.
Music and work.
Music better.
Lots of worship, no problem.
Program.
I have not. And so the way that I look at God is that we're not like-
Not so.
You open beating Joe.
We're on this side of the room, that's the thing that's right now, our basic job description. What do we want to keep? What do we want to consider, tweaking or reforming or whatever?
I used to go to the church.
Reading through all of these,
At some
I
point,
feel
I
like-
realized microphone was off, it was from the and,
I feel like the top two go really well together. I feel like the bottom two are a little bit more similar.
We talked about is
Mm.
just like in our city.
And I don't know
That's like
exactly how this would,
you know,
but like,
like
maybe
a certain
splitting it into 2 different positions.
Here's something other.
Could be, you know, someone who's leading worship,
It's kind of in our city.
you know, with the liturgies, as well as
Activity and
leading choir,
you
you
know,
know, stuff that's all happening
On Sunday morning.
on Sunday morning, as well as planning for Sunday morning, where music programs and educational work and that stuff that's are more likely to be during the week and then happens once a Sunday or Saturday.
To understand our city's canon.
So we're on.
Which is.
The basic job.
And you're raising everybody.
What works well. So these are the 4. This job, the basic.
Yeah.
Job. So I don't, pardon me. It seems like this also has to fit in, obviously, with the other staff. And Mary is taking a lot of this sort of thing. But to what extent the staff wanted to more some of the stuff that she was doing.
Right. I think we're supposed to be writing these in here, something about.
How does this new perception go?
Yeah,
So you're saying, potential split off some of number 1, to somebody else.
The whole plan literature.
yeah, and I can shed some light towards the streaming and the sound part of the service. That the plan is to update sound systems and all that stuff, lighting and everything, to allow it so either I or someone else will have the sound system on the iPad. And so, you know, the person that's leading worship isn't also monitoring as Mary did. And so having that so that, you know, that person, whoever it may be, doesn't have to also worry about that. Yeah, all they have to worry about is music for the service, you know, making sure all.
That's important.
Yeah,
Basically the techie stuff.
the tech stuff, yeah. We put the, because like, right now, I'm taking care of the visual part of the text, but trying to do both, get all of the
Make it
text into
so that
one
one
thing.
person could do it.
Yeah.
I just wrote all those ideas down and split off the other STEM question. Liturgy planning, sound tech skills. You, Jacob, you had mentioned the education programming. Or whatever, so.
Like, well, there's something missing here, and but for me, music is a form of prayer or connection to God. And that's not really, like, this is like, it's really nuts and bolts, but like, I've developed a faith through music. And it's kind of like, and the other thing that has been historically really missing is Mary never sought out people who had music in their soul to participate necessarily. For example, my husband's a really good player. They hear one so she can hear how beautifully and never sought him out. Like, it was never encouraged, never asked to. And it made me sad for many years that these beautiful gifts, they, it's God-given gifts that just were never used. And so Mary Pepper thinks she did really well, but there were also some areas where they're seeking to differently. So it'd be wonderful.
It's not all, it's not.
So I'm just saying, encourage musical contributions from everybody.
Yeah.
Or how would you say that?
People were gifted with gifts, but
Yeah.
Like, whenever they say, whenever we play.
you see a lot of like musicians that are in our congregation, so all kinds of instrumental things.
Yeah.
And then there's some artists who can still
Yeah.
musical connection. So
Yeah.
really,
And like.
finding ways for people to connect to God.
So like.
With whatever they have, however they.
Is that kind of a different one, or is that the same thing?
But it was a lot of work
They're
on the music.
Venn diagram.
There,
There's some overlap, there's some.
I write it down as a separate one, helping people connect.
Connection to God through music is one, and also, encouraging music and contribution, because some of that is people connecting to God, but
Right.
not always. It's just people enjoy playing their instruments.
I just want to write it down the way you want. It was
Well, yes, I agree, that should be at the top of the job description, the overall plan here is to enhance connection to the divine through music. And then, one of the things that Mary was doing that's missing from this is the whole congregationist choir, which she's very strong on. And so also, I think that's something we want to speak out, that we're not just developing excellent musicians, as you said, but also all of us in whatever capacity will show up.
To me, this Holy Spirit moves through music a lot, and I really think that's one of the ways that I personally feel like Holy Spirit. And so, but it's the people who don't have the same music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I like playing volleyball, but I'm not good at it. That doesn't mean I shouldn't play volleyball.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like, you know what I mean? And I think that's important to include the people who didn't get as many musical gifts and allow them to connect.
Yeah, and I think that's where I think, if I were. I would say I would
So he had like.
go for an everybody choir and not a SATB choir.
Like there were certain.
Anybody who wants to say, not singing,
You play.
but the choir is just, everybody shout, everybody sing.
Like, please let me know ahead of time, so I can transfer part.
Oh, but just, I think there's a bit of different.
Yeah, I think
Not necessarily because that was a way of doing it. So.
remember, we're a spectrum as a congregation. There are folks who, really like excellence in music. Okay, let's see if we can really do that.
I like what they said. I think the job description is worship is the faith foundation. I think that's really important too. And then you put all these, what is the faith foundation?
It's not about the music, it's
It's
about
not connection.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And I will just say that our job description is gonna also attract different sorts of people.
Yeah.
And so the language that you just highlighted.
Yeah.
Is.
Well, you should write that down. I don't think I captured that. So somebody write down whatever. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, it's
You
not.
can write it your direction.
I can't write it,
It's
I got the words for it, I just have the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Well, and this is a phrase I'd like to add, although maybe it isn't meaningful for everyone. but, you know, enhancing the connection to the divine and, building collective effervescence in worship.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by collective effort, but I want to know more.
Sure, okay. So it comes from David Kelly in Berkeley's great good science neurology.
And it might.
How emotions and how we influence each other. And there's this idea that there is this shared
Right.
neurological response. And that effervescence, I think, speaks for the kind of response.
Go right there in there.
All right.
And I didn't write down, but you had said something earlier about this goal is to really develop and strengthen the collective singing voice.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't see that here, you know, develop, build congregation. I mean, that's something I think, when I think it's kind of being done, but it isn't really named.
I know it was part-time, I think.
I'm just repeating what you already said.
Wait, before you go, let's do another step.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, we already told them our page.
So this is like filling it up already.
Yeah.
Good, which is good. Yeah.
You're not gonna sit your head on the table. Inhale. Then we're gonna just droop over our knees. Let your head hang long and your neck hang long. Make a couple inhale, exhale. Feel your spine getting long. And inhale back up really slowly. And put your shoulders up and back down the spine. One more time, same thing. And droop over your legs. Let's do 3 breaths here. And then come back up so slowly. And put your shoulders up and back down on your back. And another sound from breath.
Oh, and the saints.
You can be in that number.
Yes, I should say
When the
that.
sun beams.
Oh, and the saints.
The saints. Marching in. When the saints go. To be in that number. The saints go.
Okay, what I should have said was, if you had a table that had hot colors, go to a table that has cool colors.
Or different content from the
Yeah,
previous.
different questions. Yeah, sure.
Okay, go the other way. Biggest thing that you discussed. Morning, morning, yes. Howdy, howdy.
Is this cool or hot here?
This is hot.
This is hot.
I think that's hot.
Yes,
Some like it hot.
it's true. Good morning, everyone. I'm eager to hear what they wrote, or read what they wrote. Yeah, so here we will ask, you can read kind of a basic job description,
So we want.
and then we can maybe read
Use that.
some of their ideas, and then we can ask the question, what do we want to affirm and keep, and what might we want to reform or express in a new way going forward? Mary was 20 hours, she was part-time.
Is that the goal for the new person?
I think so. It's a good question, and wow, I know.
Yeah, and one of the things
We had
I
the
think
same.
he did,
Mhm.
but maybe I don't know this, maybe I'm wrong. She prepared the worship book.
She did.
So there's a template, of course, but that does extra time.
How many hours
I
a
don't
week
see that.
is this position?
About 20.
About 20.
Yeah.
And is that what Mary was previously?
That's what Mary was.
Okay.
I think so.
Like, I think
Was she really about 30 hours?
salary, or like, do you feel like we're
Was she really
able to have
30
someone
hours?
who's pretty experienced? No, like. Like more entry level, but I do feel like that.
Sure, don't want.
That would be.
Like, oh, I mean, maybe they're looking into like salary reviews, competitiveness. I don't know.
If it was up to me, I'd be open to the whole range.
Exactly.
Very, very experienced.
Yeah, I guess we're already speaking like what our salary. Job market, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we could attract. Yeah.
Yeah, hoping focus on what the person should shoulder. Some of you are like, I might really need to focus on the basics. Getting ready. What am I doing? Right? Sometimes it's less experience. It might take them 20 hours to be like getting ready for Sunday and preparing for. Might not, you know.
I mean, it's also fair to say that even if you're new, you're qualified, and you know what I mean? And can, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
we had Ray McKeever when he was very new. Now, he didn't have this job or,
Yeah,
but he was very new and very confident.
exactly.
Yeah, this would be very, could be.
You're talking about a little.
Speed, experience, skill positions, and learn, work, teach. So it looks like 60 hours. If you went into my skill set, like these, funny.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you capture in a job description the intangible qualities of a Brett or a Ray or a Mary Price? How, I mean, that's in my 40 years here, and they've all been in different positions. They're the ones that have made this place come alive musically.
Mary's letters.
Shows up in the 9 qualities that we talked about the other table. See that?
Okay.
Too, I think this is more,
And then it's the staff.
you know,
Live.
personnel, HR, and that is more like thematic, you know, but, are there particular intangibles that you want us to get to? I'd be interested in hearing, although, you know, that, yeah, I think I'm not, yeah.
It's kind of cool. Those ones are more like, you know,
Formulated.
formulated, like put them into the job description. Like it's part of like, here's the job, like this is kind of the theme. Like here are these are the.
Kind of the law and the spirit of the law.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what we actually need by.
I think one of the dangers of a job description like this is that some people might, some candidates may see that as a silo in which they can stand.
Mary, was not a silo leader. You know, she did like the Bible study. Yeah. in other respects. So, I think that brings a rich, play the field, so to speak. So I wonder, but I've seen church musicians who insist on being siloed. That's not my job. I mean, you know.
And the kind of portal there. Almost could be like, yeah, like the shadow side. You're not over rehearsing choir. Anything, well, or sins are on the side of under rehearsing.
Inclusion. Creative inclusion.
Kind of going with the flow and the spirit and that.
Well, but that worked because we always had a really strong singer in each section. And the rest of us kind of figure it out.
But I wouldn't, you know, I think as we, as an occasional choir participant, we want to read. I wouldn't mind it if Norm. 75 and 90. 60.
What more rehearsal? You say for rehearsal.
Yes, so you basically have an hour and a half, maximum, you know, with Sunday morning as well. And then you, yeah, from seeing the music to.
Well, you know, when I was a young adult or trying to reconnect in the church, I happened to find myself in church. And when we were talking about their conventional, kind of. There's this position not being. Yeah. Look on that for us. So like that former high school player needed up. And it makes this stretch like kind of.
Interesting.
In all the churches I've ever gone to, I've never seen.
What I know is I first time going to a church in years, you know.
At our table.
And worship that really works.
Is the job description for straight music director, is it like music and worship director?
And
It is, okay. Because straight MD, I was kind of but yeah, it's music and worship and all this other stuff. That's.
Yeah, so we kind of paired this down, part of it is like table, pastors, imaging of worship, right? Like making a plan for liturgy. So
There's a lot.
making the worship folder. Here, right, so it's a really important question. Yeah. And not just showing up and doing music, right? It's like. It's a good question.
I don't know if this is a job description question, maybe it's more what you thing, but how do you get at what are the sort of related to your question now? What is this person passionate about? What is their life experience? What are they, what styles of music most energize them?
Based on their own strength.
And I don't know, if this looks like this page, or other kind of page, I really like this page. Mobile range of music. They want us to keep on.
Yeah.
There's so many courses that it's easier for us to become a certain enclave kind of church. And even unto ourselves, outsiders are confused. So having that spiritual discipline lean into the world church.
I'm gonna bring them in. For that. And let them lead
let the jazz ensemble worship team not be hamstrung.
I'd be curious to know what kind of music they listen to and play outside of church.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't know, we didn't know. It was what.
Yeah, and there would be like, there's not a wrong answer to that. Yeah. I'd be kind of looking to what kind of variety.
Exactly.
But it wasn't a one like.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
It wasn't, so what inquiry?
Who was your favorite musician growing up?
One thing too, I mean, there's mention of choirs and like programs, educational grade. You know, one thing that kind of came out nicely on the table is,
So we basically just asked for, we write up
I
what
don't mean this to
and it was kind of like,
you know,
like,
kind of a, nowadays, if you want you know, it kind of, sometimes you don't know,
you know, it's not like,
but, you know, it's not like an extra, like extra orchestration or something extra, you know, like.
they actually have.
You know, I think in general, we can be. I'm just curious if that factors in somewhere like special opportunities or.
Because a lot of those we live in are not Indians. And we think they're essential too.
Right.
And so those.
And that would, but again, how does it affect this person? Because if unlikely to marry, what we perceive. Correct. Because those are like perceptions.
Just heard Martha talking about outreach and
This is.
I,
Without the.
it would be really interesting to ask about the connection to this neighborhood and this city as well, you know. Yeah. And just like how, you know, how are you formed musically by neighbors, by place, by, you know, how are you connected to this city? How has this city shaped kind of your musical?
And I guess I would, the part about place, to me, it would be less important. Like the Phillips was in office. Like how have they connected to place in other places?
Agreed, good
If
point.
they've been
Good
in
point.
inner city Chicago or Philadelphia or Oakland, that would be okay.
I
They
totally
bring
agree.
it's more like, did they have an orientation to learn about a neighborhood?
Wonderful read. Exactly.
Make it broad, make it. What about the skill?
Or even place like Burgess Falls.
Or even place like
that. I mean, those are places.
I know.
It's very different than here, but.
Well, hey, right, pretty responsive, you know,
Yeah,
Amory, you know.
those all have context.
I lived in a wall and my family's from Ferguson.
Well, just saying.
No, it's like one of the, I would say Minnesota cities in the end.
Yeah.
You know, no, kind of.
Generating some really interesting questions.
Me too. Me too.
So the whole thing about place is about contextualization.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah.
Also,
I get that's a little.
you know, you can become, what's the organ? Like, there's like an organ, status symbol and connectedness that means churches have to pay you more or whatever. Anyways, I see that and also as like my sister hired an organist like this, and that was their primary connectedness to place, was like this kind of allegiance to, you know, and I think a question like this could get at like, you know, how do you see music making in relation to place and community building as opposed to in relation to like allegiance to a particular, you know, style or institution or, yeah.
Really welcome.
It'd be interesting.
whoever we.
I want to underscore,
It's gonna be someone who knows their
valuable
valuable.
is that I was really understood as part of worshipful experience. Living worship. Valuable things.
Yeah.
So the way selected small little musical bits around the songs. The way of being worshipful, musical way. I really like that orientation. So much
musically. That gets at an issue for me. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Mount Olive Lutheran Church about 6 blocks south of here.
Yeah.
And I would say they would say a lot of the same things you just said, but mean something very different.
Right.
Music would be very central to their worship. People come there for the music, just like I think a number of people have come here for the music. So what is the similarities and differences between Mount Olive searching for the music director and our Savior searching?
Yeah.
Because on paper, they might look very much the same, but we'd have very different conceptions of, that's a high church, very organ, very German.
Yeah, that's right.
And very progressive, very, welcoming. It's, as many.
And yet so different.
It's so different.
I was thinking about, not that we. Questions, but like, I could get into questions like, tell me of times when, the music came in service.
All right,
Describe that times.
let's look back to
Just
here.
give them free rein to say, okay, here's how this.
And now we're going to gather up all the.
The way we would describe
And
that
make a new
is
wood here.
so particular to this place.
Um,
Different.
Right.
Let's have,
They thought made it good.
let's have, it was interesting to me that some of the same ideas came up, even though it was a different sheet of paper we were looking at with different items on it. So that was interesting. Let's have the hot colors share first what they talked about in the job description. What do we want to keep for sure? And where do we see room for reformation?
Our biggest one, we want to see all those things that are on the themes much more represented. This job description for the search I was on for our white thread, the bourbon Valparaiso music director. And this is not what we want. And so those qualities.
So themes need to be represented better in the job description.
Much better.
We didn't see what you asserted from your table, that the conversation was, we actually had a very different conversation.
Okay.
Which reflected the way in which these items on the job description were put together, where Mary was recalling what she did. Whereas we were actually describing what we perceived Mary to be given, and that was very different. Mary's words about that are that she takes all that for granted, and then we try to experience what we experienced in the conversation that we had, and that was a very different conversation that we had.
I would say too, that another thing that ran through persistently is that what's missing here and what we think is essential is that these things be done collaboratively. In other words, it isn't that this person does A, B, C, and D. They plan worship collaboratively with the pastors. And that, it's just vitally important that there be this collaborative style of leadership and that the person is used to that and favors that.
Think from that. You can just read something off of your sheet there if you want. So I could be right.
And the ink. I think we were saying a lot of the similar thoughts about the feeling, and I might just add that without disrespect to pastors, the job interview for this position might be even more important than the interviews for a pastor's position.
because the job description is always gonna be limited in capturing what I think you just expressed. And it's only gonna be with long, open-ended interviews and time spent with candidates. So it's gonna be a tough job for the interview committee, because to find that subjective qualitative features we're looking for, it's just gonna take real discernment. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the two documents just need to be separate, like together. Like, you know, I mean, the job description, like, this is how, what your week is gonna look like. These are the tasks that need to be accomplished, but this is the milieu in which that happens. And they need both of those things, but it's hard for me to imagine how you would put that in that.
A lot of job descriptions that I've written, we do two sections. One is like a day in the life or a week in the life, like the nuts and bolts stuff. And then there's another section, we're looking for a person who is, you know, so we can put that.
Yeah,
pieces in one description.
To go right off of that, I think that the words in the job description are going to be really important in getting people to apply, getting the right person to apply.
Yeah.
Because if you have X and Y written, you might get a person, and if you have Z and W written, you might get B person, you know. So I think having a correctly articulated to our needs is, I think, a pretty sizable priority.
I think, I don't know if this is typically part of the interview process, but to maybe plan a week or two before shift for whoever the final candidate, so the church can experience, the pastors can experience.
When I was sitting at the top table, it was brought up our table, and I remember thinking, I think what was missing is what our former person was really missing in this thing, is really persistently finding ways for ordinary, non-gifted musically people who have music for their souls to participate. Come and play your trumpet if you're 45 and you played in high school. And not just one time and you talk to me 5
Not
years.
some non-musical art things.
Yeah, let me finish this statement first.
Oh, yes.
I agree, but more persistently seeking out those of us to exercise those things, having everybody choir on a regular basis where everybody sings and you don't have to read music or have experience in a 4-part choir. And you're doing it and you can keep doing it and you can keep doing it so bad, as opposed to finding the gifted people and letting them do it well. Taking in everybody. So,
Say yours again.
yes, I'm sorry.
Other artsy things that could be incorporated into worship, so art, drama, dance, whatever that might be. Other gifting.
How about plan the season? How plan the season? I mean, we want somebody who kind of gets the overall shape of life together. And Mary has really contributed a lot to that, but she first, you know, dressing things, colors. Yeah, at least that would be a good interview question.
Right. Something that we raised here as well was about outreach with our musical gifts. So having a person who could help us explore ways to share our music with the wider community, whether that's the wider church or individual. Was sharing, it was awesome when Friends for the Journey did their concert, and we had like half the people there were not our Savior's members, right? And so how do we keep sharing, I mean, all the songs that Brett gives us, all the songs and Ray, all of that, beautiful gift that we have in the community, how do we keep sharing that with the wider community?
We're gonna switch over to the cool colors. the themes. Oh,
I
yeah,
have one more that we didn't say.
Yeah.
I think we're missing probably the most important thing, and that's kind of the overarching purpose of music in our community, and that's to connect us to God. And our faith formation through music, and it's missing on the job description. And I think it's probably the most important thing that music exists in that verse for. And I think it needs to be included in there, it's spelled out.
right at the top.
My teenage self just wants to express gratitude for being allowed to do it.
Jacob.
Oh, one last thing. So the other thing that I've heard at multiple tables is whoever it may be is open to experimentation and adapting, because we're going through a huge change over these next few years, and I'm assuming they're going to be joining through that time. So being open with them about that, like, hey, we're going through changes. The basement's going to be under renovation potentially soon. Who knows? And trying to change maybe what happens in the sanctuary in terms of technology, in terms of how the service goes, how much are we going to have choir, how much aren't, all of that, being open to experimentation, I think is something that's important to what is coming.
Flexibility and resiliency.
Yes, yes.
In a different color.
For us.
Yeah.
You don't even. I'm not being mean about it.
Okay, so let's talk about the themes that we, the ones that you felt were the most important and the ones that you didn't see reflected there from our last forum.
We said yes to all of these that are on there. We talked about the importance of serve and do justice. We talked about the Lily Green and how that's obviously, I don't know what is all written in there, and I know we're gonna find out more, but just being aware of how that's gonna affect it. The fact that we want someone who's energetic and vibrant, but can also bring space for contemplative. And maybe more somber worship, but that's necessary in the community. Recognizing that the Green children is both really messy and they're essentially messy, so kind of balancing that. Recognizing that there's space for this one person to get bring in, and so see what that might be different for us.
Can you say that one again?
That this person's bringing their own gifts here, and so like we don't even know what those things are, and so that we're open to that too. Being flexible with like different kinds of worship, and of course with like outdoor worship. Then be comfortable using words that address the male bias patriarchy of our tradition. Rewording music with them.
I also heard being inclusive of other cultures and communities. Yeah.
One of the things that came out on this table was being expansive and yet keeping the skeleton or the spine of the Lutheran liturgy and theology as the foundation for all of the beautiful outfits we wear every Sunday of different cultures.
Yes, and there were some comments at one of my tables about how also having flexibility in how many bones of that skeleton are included every week, because particularly kids have 45-minute attention span from time to time. They can have shorter worship as well as the occasional extravagant, wonderful 3-hour vigil or something.
I'm feeling a dissonant tension within, and that is, to what extent would I like to see Mary Price II versus am I open to someone extremely different in style and approach, but there's somehow some kind of essential quality that is a carrier. So I know part of me would just like to see Mary clone, but is that a danger? Is that something that leads us the wrong, that's not really possible?
Also go on to the opposite either, and it's where you can attach her this one way and then the next thing you can attach her this like has like completely opposite, you know, thinking, but doesn't have any of what we guys about. I think the balance somewhere in between is right. Mary had such wonderful gifts and such things that she did great, and there's also other opportunities that we haven't explored before. So they great. The next person too. Right. I feel like we should look and see what we loved about Mary and try to find those things again in the next person and also be open to the opportunities.
All right, it's time to close out.
I agree, I wasn't listening to where the second, but yeah, when I came to the stuff that wasn't being done before. Bring it somewhere else. There's a list of people.
And then first, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have one more stretch and one more song.
I don't usually get to these things, but one thing that I just wanted to say was, I think one of the things that Mary is really good at is bringing out what's in our congregation, because we have so many diverse musical and artistic talents, and I think that the most important thing that I would be looking for is someone who recognizes that, uses what's there, and plays our congregation.
All right, everybody up? And back away from everybody. All right, this is called the breath of joy. And it goes like this. It goes sniff, sniff, exhale. All right, so it goes. Don't use your head. One more. All right, and one more song. Don't fall over here.
Okay, I thought maybe since we're excited about the kingdom of the let go, we could sing, make new friends, but keep the old. Sing. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is still the young. Figure it out. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is still the young. Friends, but keep me on. One can
Choir time.
I think it's fun to think. It's gonna be
I heard about it. Well, oh my God.